No. And then fucking... Alright, cool. That seems fine. Hello, Minty. Based Notification Squad is here with Minty and Valor. Going to Shrey the video. Best stream ever. We will see. Also, I'd like to think my thumbnails are getting more and more unhinged. Y'all can let me know if it's working. I hope so. I hope so. I hope that these thumbnails are going to be the kinds of things that catch people's eye and they're like, I'm not clicking on that. Well, actually, wait, I might click on that. Minty says, I was just watching an old clip of Alex Jones screaming, "We're coming for you, globalists!" It was funny as fuck. Good to hear. Also, it says I'm having streaming issues, but y'all can feel free to let me know if that's the truth. Gonna share this with a few people, and then we'll get started. It was loading for me, or it's just my Wi-Fi. It's probably like my Wi-Fi. One of the cool things is that in June, I'm very likely going to be getting much better internet, and I'll be plugged into the modem, so we'll have to worry about this sort of thing less. One moment. And then share there. Share and here. And then share in my surveyor. And get back to the stream. Hello, y'all. So, cracking open the fucking meal prep because I just worked out. Today we got fucking hamburger helper with Carolina Reaper chili in it. Sweet barbecue flavor. These weren't gonna be mukbang streams, but I needed to work out, so just sort of works out. Hello, Earth Nerd. He says, "LOL, my notifs." Yeah, they always blow up around now. Like, oh yeah, Jeremiah's fucking being insane over here. So, topics. If y'all want to bring stuff up, feel free. I've got some stuff I'm going to talk about. Let me respond to this message real quick. Alright, I'm going to respond to a message real quick. Here. Y'all can load the chat with a bunch of things you want me to discuss while we let people pile in here. It's been a crazy week. There's been lots of stuff going on. And, Dapperton is still angry with me. Not surprised at all. He's unwilling to do even the basic stuff I talked about in the last stream. So either he's not watching that stream anymore, or he decided against being civil. All right. What is going on with the banks? Well, the banks have relied on shaky institutions again. And those shaky institutions collapsed when Peter Thiel did weird manipulation of markets. That's what happened. Because fucking Peter Thiel is a piece of shit. Taking a risk here. If I need to fucking deal with something, I'll let y'all know. But I'm taking a risk on something right now. Alright, there we go. Dapperton is immature, lol. Yeah, for sure. But yeah, Peter Thiel is basically, he manipulates politics with his venture capital. He manipulates markets with his, you know, capital. He's not a good person, but a lot of libertarians like him anyway, because they're fucking either clueless about his connections to the state, or because they're fucking pieces of shit themselves and they want that piece of shit money. And basically, the reason he's trending is because he started to stir a bunch of bullshit after he did some put garbage. Put options. So, that. Oh no. Will Sommer over here saying, not sure how I'm going to recover from Jordan Peterson tweeting a male milking fetish video because he thinks it's a real Chinese government policy. What? What? I'm gonna die. There are cathedrals Oh no. It's like porn, isn't it? Oh shit. Motherfucker. I've got to see this. If Jordan didn't already block me, this is gonna be lit. He didn't. I'm looking for there are cathedrals everywhere for those with eyes to see. I'm looking for that tweet. So, okay, I'll live blog my journey down his timeline here. So we got climate change. I agree with this though. Where this dude named, here, let me get a bite of this. Mike Gibbs says the Prime Minister does not have a private jet. The Prime Minister is required to travel via Royal Canadian Air Force assets that exist for the federal government to safely transport military and government leadership across Canada and the world. You're just advertising the government right now, Mike Gibbs. Fuck you. Holy shit. I can smell the boot leather from here. Just like your saliva breaking it down and aerosolizing the fucking boot licking particles. Jordan is over here.
No one has a problem with the PM's bloody jet. They have a problem with him traveling around the world in a said jet, virtue signaling about the climate while destroying the Canadian primary resource industries.
So, yeah, you're correct about that, Jordan.
The fringe has fringes, beware. And the fringe of the fringe of the fringe, that's John Wayne Gacy land. There's no limit to my tolerance. Think again, sunshine. One day you're going to meet the wrong boyo in a dark alley.
That sounds like a threat. Doesn't it? Doesn't that sound like a fucking threat? Okay. Alright, let me check chat here real quick while I'm scrolling down. Earth Nerd says he can stay mad. Yeah, I you know, until he eventually sues me, which hasn't fucking happened yet. Like, I'm waiting for this lawsuit. I'm hardcore waiting. Also, I need to switch to live chat. I forgot to do that. One moment. We don't need to like someone just because they're rich, Earth Nerd. Yes. Minty says, love how some lolberts are calling trans people predators. Maybe they should focus on the predators in their own communities. Hella. And also, hello to Don Pabieri. And UV. Don says he changed from his 1984 audiobook to you, so you're right. Well, you know, honestly though, if you like 1984, I just want to make this reading. Made it in a video short bit ago. Read The Running Man by Stephen King. Or audiobook, it doesn't matter. Just don't watch the movie, for fuck's sake. So Nikki Freed says Ron posting butt plug porn to own the libs. Yeah, admittedly. There was no reason to show kids how to use butt plugs, 100%. Just stay the fuck away from libraries. You don't need to show people that. They can find the internet if they need that information. That's not necessary to education. Like, you know, fucking they'll someday have in a kid's library like how to lube up a gimp suit. Like, fuck out of here. Don't care about these retweets. Don't care about these retweets. Especially since it wouldn't surprise me if this chick that got top surgery is an adult. I'll look into that at some point.
If you want bananas, try Justin Trudeau's Canada.
Talking to Tulsi Gabbard. Tulsi Gabbard has become a mouthpiece for some garbage. She still occasionally says some good things, but she's like, I think the fact that she serves the WEF agenda nicely, and the fact that she was a young global leader, pretty much says everything everyone needs to know about Tulsi Gabbard. What do I know? I'm just an insane conspiracy theorist. Fucking Yogmeat. I don't care. Holy shit. Holy shit. So, I'm looking for this and I'm not finding it. Here, let me just see if I can... from Jordan B. Fucking eyes to see. Dude. So, okay. At the fucking top post, this is a goddamn Evian bottle. He's fucking mad about an Evian bottle. Oh shit. Ooh, I'ma sing. Here's a video of him crying with something. I don't care. So apparently he deleted the video in question. That it's funny that it was up, but it's clearly gone. So yeah, there's that. Anyway, Minty says, "Did you hear Lindsey Graham passed a resolution to basically invade Mexico?" What? No, I didn't. Let me look at this. Lindsey. Take another bite of my fucking post-workout knuckles. Oh, well. I don't fucking... Okay, here we go. Where were you talking about, Valor? Oh, ended up having to tell 051 to just go to bed because he was overworking himself again about knife on? I don't know what that means. Celebrate the delivery of the first F-16s to Bahrain. I'm going to look this up on a different source, because if that's the case, then Lindsey Graham is clearly not talking about his own bill. That's not a good sign. Oh. This is gross. Holy shit. Alright. Let's cue it up. Look at the fucking picture they chose. Business Insider is not pulling punches with this fucking picture. Holy shit. I have to share this image. I have to show y'all the power and might of this image. Also, I've got some in my fucking mustache because of course I do. There we go. It's fucking still there. Yeah, there we go. I have to disgustingly pick pieces out of... It's the price of beauty. To be disgusting and ugly. Here is the window in question. Let me... Look at it. He's got fucking drug mouth. Like, this is the kind of lateral teeth you get when you've ground your teeth down to stumps because of, like, meth use, like, or Molly or something. Like, this is the reason they give you a pacifier in the rave. So that you don't look like Lindsey Graham. You don't get Lindsey Graham teeth. What the hell? I've never seen his teeth, like, exposed like this. He should, like, not do that. Ever. He should, like staple them to the inside of his mouth. So, Senator Lindsey Graham wants to unleash the fury and might of the U.S. on Mexico's cartels. Graham says the U.S. needs to destroy cartels because too many Americans have died of fentanyl overdoses. He clarified that he isn't asking for the U.S. Army to invade Mexico. What? So what do you fucking mean then? The cartels here? Because the cartels here already don't do that. Like, they're already not going to be stopped by... What fury and might? And also, like, just to be clear, any sort of drug trafficking, the primary source is going to be Big Pharma. because they're where the fentanyl is coming from. And then secondarily, there's a fear-mongering campaign, and it actually does work for some people. Tertiarily, um, if you want to stop a pandemic, you're not going to do it by the historically flawed and inevitably broken system of prohibition. That's not how it works. You're going to end up with the same thing that you always do, which is lots of people in prison, lots of people brutalized by cops, lots of people thrown out of their homes or up against walls, like Mike Bloomberg told us. Cartels? Are you serious, Lindsay? Because, yeah, you'd have to basically invade Mexico in order to stop them. And what are you going to invade Mexico with? Deputies? And also, you wouldn't stop them. The power would just shift to other cartels and other cartels until eventually everything was fucked. You would destroy places in the name of your policies. But people do not... But, the state doesn't care about that, and they've routinely enforced their neoliberal policies at the expense of any sort of reason. So, yeah, that's kind of gonna be a yikes from me, Lindsay. Let's see what he had to say. We're gonna destroy their business model and their lifestyle because our national security and the security of the United States as a whole depends on us taking decisive action. Decisive action how? Just killing people? Imprisoning them? Deporting them? Because you're not going to get rid of the drug. You're just going to move the hands into another group of people. Maybe people who aren't cartels in Mexico. But there will always be cartels because cartelization happens with prohibition. Motherfucker. Shit. So, France to introduce bipartisan. With everything that the U.S. is designated as a terrorist organization, the U.S. has committed more acts of terror every single time, or just funded terror organizations like the $53 million they shot the Taliban's way right before 9/11. Or the Operation Cyclone money they shot to Mujahideen, who would become Al-Qaeda, Al-Nusra, ISIS, ISIL, the Taliban. Or, the MK Ultra people who would eventually become terrorists. The U.S. just creates its own enemies. Every single fucking time. Oh, there's a right-wing violence and propaganda problem? Shucks, ignore all the CIA money that we sent to Ukrainian Nazis since the 60s. Ignore the CIA ties to the Nazis through the Bush family and Prescott Bush literally being responsible for hiding Nazi money and steel. Ignore the NATO officers, the high-level NATO officers who were hiling, right before they were that. The Wehrmacht turning into the Bundeswehr. Ignore that. Ignore, the Galen organization and all the Nazis that came through the CIA. Because fuck Russia. Let's fund Nazis. Let's help a bunch of Nazis escape. Ignore all that. Ignore all that. But yeah, if there's right-wing terror, it's definitely not our fault. Ignore that. They always make their own fucking enemies every single fucking time. Don says, are you going to watch the SFM movie Enesis Blue? I don't know what that is. Or Emesis? Yeah, yeah. Minty says, I can only imagine this would end up like Iraq, where there was an insurgency after the invasion. Or it's just an excuse to destabilize Mexico and bring it to heel with globalist economic policy, just like they did with Venezuela and so many other countries. You know, could be that. Like, I see where you're going with the Iraq thing, but even Iraq was just a regime change effort. They broke Iraq. Soft and hard power are necessary. You need both soft and hard power in order to truly influence these sorts of things. If you have the hard power of absolutely fucking destroying everything, and then you have the soft power saying, "Oh, but we'll rebuild it for you. We'll rebuild it for you if you accept these loans. You can buy our rebuilding efforts for the low price of your country's autonomy and freedom. Sign on to the Uncle Sam recovery plan from Uncle Sam bombing you, ma'am." You know? It's like that. It's like that every single fucking time. And then US aid comes in and fucking they institute AFRICOM and they institute the UN or one of these other peacekeeping organizations that turns out to just like to rape a lot of people. Like, it's a fucking problem when the US uses any sort of power, but it has to use both soft and hard power, and eventually it just breaks a country. It's like, Japan is one of the most Western countries in Asia. Why? Because they had to come back to heal after they had 2 cities mass murdered in Hiroshima and Nagasaki. If they accepted the West paradigm, they could fucking get back on their feet. That's why a lot of Japanese fiction between then and now has been about, destruction and foreign powers coming in and being like, Godzilla and destroying their city to fight their fucking battles. Because that's what the US is. It's Godzilla. Did I watch the stuff I actually haven't yet, Don. I'll do that. I'll make that a priority tomorrow. And I'll also be watching the video quite posted because I've never heard about this guy as far as I'm aware, but like I kind of sniffed a bunch of BS with his accusations, so it'll be interesting to see if I was right. We need more killdozers. Yes. Can agree. Snake says, I have a Navy SEAL friend. Snake Jones, hello. Possibly the first time I've talked to you. I have a Navy SEAL friend. Told me about all the cocaine they trafficked with our submarines. An admiral came in and stopped it in '89. He said that's what destroyed Mexico. All the trafficking was done by the cartels after that. Yeah. See, and that's the thing. So, all right. Here's the deal. Oliver North, right? Look up Oliver North, and look up, look up Freeway Rick Ross. Look up the Iran Contra affair. Look up the fact that the Contras, I'll leave it at that. I've covered this so many times, but I'll leave it at that for now. Just look up those things, and then after you're done reading about the fact that the CIA literally smuggled cocaine into inner cities so that they could start a domestic war on drugs and justify further action against foreigners. After you do that, listen to Reagan by Killer Mike. It'll be so choice, yo. Valor says, I used to love Quite, but then he was accused of rape. The face the victim posted did look very similar. Don says, Valor Quite dropped on like 5 hours ago. Completely blew Orion's claim up. Yeah, well. And Valor says, I also find it weird how his Discord mods were silencing everyone. But that's sort of fine. Because, here's the deal. If accusations aren't true and people are just using your server as a place to spam accusations, then it does nothing for your profession and it does nothing for the truth because it's just accusations. Also, let me remove this because we already basically found that out. So that's the thing there. Like, I can understand that from his perspective. I'm willing to silence people if I feel that they are moving in a way that is directly contradictory to the goal of the place, or if I feel like they're going to damage the place somehow. Like, it's a Discord server. It's not like they're robbing people's freedom of speech. They can still post it on their Twitter to get their clout. They don't need to join the hate mob in the server, you know? I can understand that from that perspective. Minty says, I knew the CIA and Bolivian government killed Che Guevara, but I found it out they actually enlisted the help of an actual Nazi, Klaus Barbie. So yeah, like, the US just loves Nazis. Fucking loves them. Actually, that's one of the things I tweeted recently that pissed off some fucking, like, liberals. I tweeted out a tweet about fucking Adidas, right? And the fucking people on Facebook didn't like it. Like, you know, people on Twitter were much more okay with it, and it was much better received. But I said, Adidas name is literally Nazis. Adi and Rudi Dassler, Adidas, founders, members of the Nazi Party. They helped Hitler by turning their factories into munitions plants. Kanye West may be a Nazi, but if they got Yeezy coming out their ears, maybe give them to charity, you Nazis. Imagine thinking you can rehabilitate a whole Nazi company, but you can't rehabilitate a shoe. Imagine wasting clothing just a virtue signal. So many companies who are now mainstream were just Nazis. Don't let them act like they were ever pure because they did a song and dance. You'll still drink Coke. You'll still drive VW, Mercedes, Porsche, and Ford with Shell gas. You'll bank with JP Morgan Chase. You'll take Bayer aspirin and eat Bayer Monsanto food. You'll buy Hugo Boss and use IBM computers. You'll read Associated Press and trust their fact checks. Shut up. People on Facebook didn't like that much. Oh no, not my Adidas. My Yeezys. Motherfucking food. Dropped it. It's a good thing I eat with the bowl. I just worked out. For those of you who are new to this channel, I just worked out, and so I need my post-workout protein. Snake says, I knew a Marine, contracted with DynCorp, and flew all the Afghan heroin into the U.S. the whole time onto U.S. Air Force bases, Buffalo. Pretty sure you meant to say soldiers. Orion blocked me for asking questions. Rescind, hello. Yeah. Yeah, there's... I wrote this... Okay, let me read what I wrote in my own server on the Quite situation. Today, anyway. Because I wrote some stuff before, but I'm not going to look for it. I might look up my thing that I wrote on Twitter, though. I said, I believe in supporting people who provide sufficient evidence to the public that, like, is what's... Well, sorry, I'll restart here. I believe supporting people who provide sufficient evidence to the public is what's in order. At least with these public cases. If someone can... I don't know what I was saying here, but, like, it was fucking speech recognition I was working out. If someone confides in me, that's what I meant to say, but they still provide enough that I can sink my teeth into it, I will support them through hell and high water. But my only comment through this whole thing was that I've been falsely accused of a lot before, so I know what it's like, and I just don't spread things without proof. And I said, the real truth is that until someone has solid proof, they shouldn't take something public. Not unless it's an absolute last-ditch effort to get away from the situation. I can understand it if you have no other options, but this chick clearly did. I'm always suspicious of it when someone just comes forward with stuff like this. But as a bunch of stuff we're supposed to believe in spread without any proof at all, it should remain private and a matter of the courts unless absolutely necessary. That way the victim can't be accused of just doing it for clout or to destroy someone they didn't like. Like, I don't know this YouTuber. I don't know this chick. I don't know the people involved. Why am I going to jump on a bandwagon and help something trend if I'm not sure it happened? Oh, right. Because a lot of the people who did that got clout from it. Large amounts of followers and subscriptions for their drama channels. Oh, and of course, because when people virtue signal like this, it becomes the popular option. And exiling anyone from groups who doesn't comport with it immediately is a good way to maintain the clout building structure. You know? That's my statement on the situation. Snake says, I met a lot of veterans working, volunteering, and consulting addicts. VA hospitals, psychiatric. I learned a lot. Isn't Molly being impersonated right now, too? I wouldn't care. Like, honestly, after being abused by her audience and then her doubling down after, you know, fucking having, like, civility with her in my fucking messages and telling her I'd be totally willing to move forward and actually focus on fighting transphobes and shit like that. After all of that, she basically ghosted me. Even when I posted things that we could do on a mutual basis, she basically ghosted me. Like, once my public backlash stopped for the lies she was telling, and still hasn't taken down, by the way, she was just like, yeah, now the controversy's over. I won. A bunch of my followers rallied behind me, and I got a bunch more followers off it. I got a bunch of people to block him. I ratioed him. I win, so now I get to hop off to the shadows like nothing happened, and ghost him entirely, even when he like posts well-meaning things that we could move together on. I'm just like, I don't fucking care. Like, her situation might be terrible, and I'm not saying it's not. But what I am saying is that she doesn't mind whatever terrible situation she puts people in as long as she thinks she's in the right. Many such cases. That's despicable toxic behavior. Not on board. Let me get some more of this in here. Fucking Don saying, troll face moment from Smeal, ID Smeal, IDC Smeal, the Chad Hedgehog. Here. Yes. There's your meme for the day. Yeah, UV says Molly said she wanted to make the US an ethno state. Yes, she did. And that's more garbage. It's just proof that these people can get away with saying things that other people would be absolutely fucking crucified for. Snake says, have you ever heard of Chris or Christine Beck? No. Oh, I already know what you're talking about, UV. Yeah. She's just, it's just proof that as long as you identify the right way, you can say basically whatever you want, get away with whatever you want. It's garbage. Like, literally nobody else could say something similar. And in fact, when they did say something similar, I was right on their ass about it. Like, I've come out real hard against the fucking trans eradication rhetoric coming out of CPAC and the Daily Wire. And I've come out real fucking hard against the Daily Wire's anti-transness. But I bet you if I came out against her saying she wants an ethno-state, that there might be, like, you know, a bunch of her followers in my mention telling me to shut the fuck up, Whitey. Because she's a fundamentally unscrupulous and unethical person who doesn't care who she hurts with her words or with her actions. So yeah, that's my stance there. Also, my shoes are falling apart. I just got this piece off my shoe. I'll be buying new ones ASAP, but I do not have the cash, so that. Alright. So, more messages here. Yeah, and I, by the way, it's not that links aren't quote allowed. It's just that, like YouTube stops all of them. Like if there was a way to allow links, I might consider it. But like, yeah, I don't even think there is an option. So. Valor says, might get into a relationship with my ex-lover. They said they want to identify as a girl, but I need time to build trust in them again. Up to you. It's just that somebody lied to him, and broke his trust. That's all. So, we'll see how that goes. Minty says, you know, after some consideration, I've decided I will not respect using it as a personal pronoun. I'm not going to dehumanize people. It is for objects. They is fine. Like, they has been working since I was a kid. It is not, like, I used to hear people call, like, LGBT people and minorities they didn't like racial minorities they didn't like it. I'm not going to resurrect that because somebody would prefer it. And I'm certainly not going to call them a non-human object. And by the way, Minty is trans, and there are multiple trans people in the chat and elsewhere who agree with her. So before any of you come at me like, ooh, he's just a bigot, no, this isn't just me. Like, and I'm not being unreasonable when I say what I just said, so fuck off. Valor says, I missed a week of martial arts due to me being sad. Well, what I hope is, let me actually, before I say anything, let me check and make sure of something, because it might be the case here. But you should get the Swole Alert server role in my server, so that you can just be reminded to work out, so that even if you don't get in martial arts, you're still fit. Me watching in agony again as Luna gets snubbed and has 0 lines the entire episode. Oh, the new HB, yeah. Well, I'll be watching that at some point soon. Fucking... Jack Curtis says, oof, sorry I'm late, just finished getting floor tile. Grouting floor tile. Alright, yeah. Yeah, I have like the chat way over there on the screen, and it's sort of like small text, so I'm like, let me read that. What does that say? Fucking my by the way, both my beard and head hair are thicker than normal. I think that the routine recommended by Earth Nerd is working, so If y'all need tips, hit her ip. Also, lots more content coming. I I've sort of taken unintentional hiatus this week, but I've also been working really hard on some stuff in the background. Um, and I've also been getting some stuff that's going to be released next week. Next week, probably 3 podcast episodes. So look out for those. Also, I'm going to shove more of this in my gob. I'm not sure what you think it means, but the Jane video is coming. I just want to be as thorough as possible, and a lot of the leads I was doing are sort of deadish because of the amount of time that passed. I was waiting for some of the victims to file police reports, and I was very transparent about that. So, the fact that that didn't happen, sort of, I don't know, it took a lot of the time away. That this would have been a lot more effective and impactful. But recent happenings, partially affiliated with the Molly situation, have meant that I need to get this information out there so that people remember who certain people are and those with whom they were affiliated. So, stay tuned. Because I got all the motherfucking receipts. I do not forget. I haven't looked into what you talked about last week, Jack. At some point I'll look into it. But give me some, like, starting ground stuff. Like, reply to the comments of your Facebook post with, anything you think I should know. So, oh yeah, let me deal with something real quick here in my server. UV says, gotta love how people still talk about me like I'm some sort of important part of the story when really I just posted images of a wolf and pissed off Jane and Benja because I didn't know some stuff. Well, see, but to me, that is integral because it showed what that community really was. It wasn't a community of predator hunters there to protect fucking minors. It was a community of clout chasing little fucking, demons who didn't care if they hurt a minor as long as they got what they wanted out of the harm. I hate them with such a fiery passion, the people behind that place and the people who tried to justify it, the people who lied about me, the people who fucking enabled it. Fuck off. I was always right. 100% of the fucking time I was right. So when these people are coming back, and it's the same thing with literally every one of these other situations. I'm fucking right. I don't fucking care. Fuck you. I posted so much evidence about everything I was saying, and these people were still saying that I'm a terrible person or that I'm wrong or something. Fuck off. So that's the reason I see you as an integral part of the story. Because the fact that they were willing to try to bully a minor to suicide, and the fact that Dan was right there along with them telling people to suck shotguns and lying that I'm a groomer for defending you because you're a minor. Oh, 30-year-old who likes the Sonic franchise and is defending a kid I'm lying about. Groomer! And they say that the panic for groomers only goes one way. Ah ha ha ha! I was lied about by a trans person that I was a groomer. I know all about this, motherfuckers. I got all the motherfucking receipts, motherfuckers. They ain't no shit. So, yeah, the video is still coming out, and I do believe you're an integral part of that, UV. Um, you know, it's not that it's not that like, I'm gonna put you on blast. It's just that if Dan is willing to lie and call you xenophobic because you said you don't understand like xeno pronouns, when literally the thing that comes up when you Google that is that it's above human understanding. Can we not? Can we fucking not? It fucking angers me on such a deep and profound level. Gives me that rage grin, just like, fucking gets my palms all sweaty thinking about how angry it makes me. Don says, I still stoke the flames of anger from CPHQ, how she used us. Yeah. Jane solicited me for uh-oh pictures when I was a minor, so I have a huge amount of rage. Yeah, for sure. Valor says, when I first came to Twitter, I actually dealt with someone who claimed to be an anti-pedophile, but turned out he was an actual pedo himself. My closest friend and I still hate them yesterday because I criticized them and questioned them because they called my friend the R word for neurodivergent people. Yeah, not good. Well, UV, there are some people who are new to my channel who don't know that you were a minor at the time. So emphasizing that these people were sending hate mobs after a minor is useful, especially since I'm later going to say that, I was lied about being a groomer. People can't really groom adults for that sort of thing. So, like, it's a long story, and I think that all the context is necessary for a full story there. Personally, oh, the video is still here. He he retweeted fucking porn. He retweeted porn. Jordan Peterson retweeted porn. Holy shit. It's just porn. It's just like dudes getting jacked off by milking machines. Wow, Jordan. New lows. And his daughter's like, Dad, you can't retweet this on Twitter. My eyes will never recover. Minty says, UV, I will admit the in your walls joke to Benji made me chuckle a bit. And UV says, I unfollowed Benji. Yeah. Yeah, it's like Benji is such a turncoating little bitch. Like, because I literally removed somebody from my server because he told me that they were making him extremely uncomfortable by making an in your walls joke. And now he's making in your walls jokes to other people. And like already, if we were talking discomfort levels, I'm pretty sure, Benji, that you using Benji when that's not your name and when it's very close to the name of multiple people's abusers, and when you're also using Soulless Pacifist, which is literally just Jane's YouTube handle, around the victim she groomed, constantly feeding them anxiety, I think you're probably more of the problem in that regard. But I still gave you the benefit of the doubt and I removed him, and I policed my server on behalf of your bitch ass, and now you do nothing but talk shit about me when you do talk about me. And if you think I don't see that, I fucking do. Because plenty of people are still on my side, and you don't know who they are. So yeah, that's my stance there. Anyway, the Jane drama will be interesting when the video comes out, I'll put that way. Because there are a lot of moving parts in this machine. People are like, oh, how do you eat fucking particulated food with chopsticks? It's so difficult. Oh no, it's chopsticks. Let's make fun of him for using something efficient, cheap, plentiful, and creatable easily in the wild. So many people are like anti-chopstick action when I post pics of my food and shit. Like, it fucking works, yo. I don't know what to tell you. Is Jane's brother still in your server? Yes. I don't know how much he's going to talk to you, but he's still there. Jane's brother, for those of you who don't know, helped us get some information and also is very much against what she was doing. I'll put it that way. Because she's a real piece of shit. Her family doesn't like her either, and part of the reasons that they don't like her are because she accused them of homophobia, transphobia, and that sort of thing, and said, hey, let me scam a bunch of my server members out of money regularly saying these things, and it turned out to be bullshit. Utter garbage. Yeah, he's in the server. I'll post a screenshot in comments. She bought a maid outfit with the funds done, but she also bought fake swords and a bunch of fast food and booze. Let's not focus on the maid outfit, even though that's very funny. Let's just focus on the whole package, because the maid outfit is just like the window dressing on the fuck package. Like, the swords she bought are clearly fake. They're not swords. You couldn't use those. Those are display pieces for a weeb. That's it. That's all. She was always a real piece of shit. She was literally e-begging for Uber Eats in the server that one time. Minty says, yeah. Or like, can I get gas money for a ride for a ride home? Or like something like that. And it'd be like, you can get places. Nobody needs to help you. And I doubt that all those times her stuff got stolen were true. I still feel bad for doing what? I don't know what you're talking about, Valor. You're gonna have to fill me in. Completed. Meal 2 out of 3. After this call, I'm gonna eat post workout fucking tacos and a protein pancake. Minty says, I once called her out on Twit and she threatened to send her mob after me. Yeah, and she also called you, like, the lowest of the low or something like that. Like, garbage or something. Even though you were her top donor on Ko-fi still. Like, shut the fuck up, Jane. No. You can't do that. You can't call your top donor on Ko-fi a piece of shit. She helped you so fucking much. so fucking much and you're just spitting in her eye, fuck you. That was when I really started to go against her, because I was like, yeah, she's your ex. That doesn't mean you should be able to treat her like shit. Because clearly, the breakup happened for actual reasonable fucking reasons. Oh, and of course, Common Trans W. Actually, was that this week? That was this week. I'll cover that. So the Common Trans W's situation. Common Trans W's bullied a groomed minor who was groomed into zoophilia. Bullied that minor until they posted a picture where they seemed to be jumping out of a window. So bullying minors to suicide is what this community often gets behind. And it's not just the Common Trans W's situation, it's also their fucking audience. And so what I said is that it's completely unsurprising. These gimmick circles... Actually, I'll start from the top in case somebody wants to clip this. And I'll drink some fucking water so I can do this all in one take. The situation is completely unsurprising. These gimmick circles have a significant problem with using huge accounts to harass people and tell them to kill themselves. The fact that it might have publicly happened now is a long time coming. Y'all think it's okay now? Oh right, you don't clean house until it's too late, and then most of the time you'll defend yourself when people point out your flaws. I still get the occasional person trying to dox me, threaten my family, or something over going against gimmicks. Ready to clean house now? Zoophile Struggle Tweets was run by someone who did the same thing that Common Trans W's did. Sent thousands after a minor, lying about him. The minor was suicidal, and IDK what would have happened to him if I hadn't intervened. So I stepped in, corrected the record, and what did that get me? The same account ran a smear campaign about me in the background, calling me a groomer among a variety of other lies, and the person who ran it told me to kill myself by sucking a shotgun. These people are untouchable and uncriticizable. They'll come after you too, no doubt. She repeatedly refused public apology and accountability and was allowed to go on no matter what she did. All her private apologies were garbage, where she would still insult me and anyone else who brought it up. Now I have people trying to dox me again. Wonder why. To this day, she celebrates her ratio. She was never sorry for lying about the minor. She was never sorry for lying about me. She was never sorry for telling me to kill myself. This is the community y'all made, so don't be surprised when it actually works. Many such cases. And watch, even making this thread on Dan or Ambient Art will get me harassed again, but I don't care. Someone needs to say it, and this kind of culture needs to stop. Wonder how many people it's going to take before those responsible for this culture take accountability and fucking change. And thank you. So, that was my stance. And it was right there near the surface, since somebody recently retweeted it, I guess. And by the way, that thread is not an invitation for pro-pedophile accounts and their fucking terrible friends to retweet that. I'm not saying that I, support whatever degeneracy you want just because I oppose certain anti-pedophile circles who aren't actually that and are really just drama clout farmers who run cults and abuse and exploit their audience and outsiders. I'm not endorsing your garbage. And I'm also not endorsing transphobia, because Common Trans W's, Molly, and Dan don't speak for the full trans community. I'm just saying what needs to be said. Fuck all these ride-alongs that want to use this and hijack it for their own purposes. That's it, So, just to make sure that's said. Oh, actually, I didn't post this in general. I need to post this in general. Commons. Yeah, there we go. But yeah, we're, any other topics people want to cover? Because if not, I'm drawing it to a close soon. Anything that happened this week. Y'all are free to holla. But yeah, there's a lot of content coming. A full Jane video, a full video on all these fucking circle jerk ass cults in their echo chambers. Full video. Minty says, why harass a zoo minor? You should be helping them, getting them out of these grooming circles. Yes. But it's not about that for a lot of these people. They're just there to fucking ratio people and get W's. And they're they're not fucking interested in helping people. That's why if they start to hurt people, they'll just double, triple, quadruple down. God, they fucking suck. They suck so goddamn much. Like, because if they authentically cared, they wouldn't, you know, just start these harassment circle jerks. They wouldn't enable bigots. They wouldn't have all these investigatory compromises. They would help people. And if it was proven that they weren't helping people, they would be immediately contrite and reverse fucking course right the fuck away. But they don't. Fuck them. Holy shit. Who is Jordan Peterson? He's a noted Canadian influencer, professor, public speaker, that sort of thing. Written some books. He's noted because of his influence in right-wing circles, especially, and he basically appeals to the right wing almost exclusively. Some of the stuff he says is legitimate and reasonable, but a lot of it is just like real partisan or just unhinged. That's what it is, especially lately. Like, he fucking said that it's petty tyranny to tell him to fucking not use too many paper towels and to put the paper towels in a paper towel can so that they can be recycled. He's fucking literally... I'm not making it up. Fuck. Jack says, did you talk about the crazy guy that held people at knife point on a plane? No. One moment. I haven't even heard about that. Knife plane. Man arrested after allegedly stabbing flight attendant. All right, let's see. Let's play this audio here. I'll enable desktop audio. I'm not going to enable video in case this is fucking spice. So you're saying he held people at knife point. It seems like mostly what he's trying to do is get off the plane. But also, yeah, fuck this guy. I don't know what prompted him to start stabbing people, but that clearly wasn't a good move. Alright, so I know generally where to go now with this. Enable desktop audio. So he just like stabbed. That wasn't a good idea. All right. Well, don't do that. That guy, 100% that guy has some like either schizoid or schizophrenic issues. You're gonna, because the way he was looking around really looked like he was searching for answers from the voices in his head. You know? I think you're gonna hear that guy's got a history of mental illness. However, I guess like this is just yet more proof that the TSA doesn't prevent shit, because he fucking got his knife on the plane? How the fuck did that happen? Jesus. Man. Man, oh man. So, there's a longer version of the clip. But... Alright, so let's, I guess, listen to his insanity. What is this guy's endgame? All right, yeah, I'm done. I'm not gonna fucking do this like mental illness thing. I feel like it would be exploitative to play more of it, because this guy is 100% schizophrenic, ruining humanity, sweeping claims like, you know, he called himself Dracula. If you're a human, he fucking, yeah, this guy's got schizo. That guy's a delusional schizophrenic. That's what that is. And I'm not saying all schizophrenics are bad, just to be fucking clear. But that guy's clearly got it. Like, multiple people in the chat can probably confirm that. 100% that's what that guy has. And so I'm not gonna play the rest of that audio and fucking exploit his fucking illness here. I can hear it, but the audio is too low. Oh shit, I didn't hear that. See that in time. Apologies. Solus is Benji, right? From EXE? Yeah. Valor says, Jeremiah, if you were a president, how would you... Don says he wouldn't be a president. Yeah, I mean, I pretty much oppose the presidency. If I was forced into the role for some reason, and, like, there was no way out, probably I would just try to mirror a lot of what the original Harding did. The original Harding was an anti-war guy who was starting peace conferences, reducing government spending and regulations, and trying to shrink the state as much as possible, while also, helping avoid world wars, and generally stopping the expansionist globalist economy that would eventually turn into what we see today. If people had listened to Harding a lot more, a lot would have been better. Like, he's literally the reason the Roaring Twenties happened. Fucking... But he's the one president it's okay to hate. Either way, you know, that probably also, but with lots of radical anarchist positions as well. And the war on drugs and the Fed. You know, attack homelessness before attacking minorities. You know, like, eliminate escalatory policing, qualified immunity, and asset forfeiture. You know, shit like that. Shit that's really easy to do that would improve a lot of people's lives. No more funds for wars that Congress hasn't approved. No more foreign aid, because we need that money here. More domestic and localized policies for trade and goods production, with less emphasis on, like, foreign countries from a central perspective, because we need to get local people empowered to eat and exist more locally. Removing a lot of the restrictions that get people stopped from living off grid and living in places like communes. You know, the kinds of things used to justify the bombing of the Philadelphia move, or the, military police response to the Occupy movement. Just so many things that we could just knock off the table that would just make things better if the president even had any power to begin with to do these things. This is like fairy tale kingdom stuff that I don't think is even possible for a president to do, but I would certainly start commissions on as much of it as possible. I don't know. Shit like that. Get some solidarity up in this motherfucker. Y'all can feel free to clip that if you want my fucking campaign statement and motto. Get some solidarity up in this motherfucker. Jeremiah. Yeah, Jack, and that's the thing. I'm literally a distant relative of the president, Harding, and I hated him as a kid because the school told me to. But now, like, I've spent enough time reading him that I'm like, motherfucker sounds like me. You know, we should talk. We should be mature, like people as countries and leaders, not lead to bloodshed. Fucking stop the wars and stop expanding. Worry about more of our stuff at home. Stop being racist. You know, really radical stuff for the 20s. You know. So of course they hated him. Oh man, it's so much proof that the media is an industrial complex on its own right. Cause motherfucker was right, and they hated him. He was right about so much. Warren G. Harding, fucking you fucking make a JoJo animation out of this, and fucking my I just raise my stand out of the background. Warren G. Harding. Okay. Anyway, this is the part of the stream where I start to get a little zany and start to draw it to a close. So, y'all got more you want me to cover before I do? And there'll be a video tomorrow, a podcast release tomorrow. There'll be a video every day this week because I need to get back on that grind, you know? And I want to do one article every 2 weeks for Agnex, one article every 2 weeks for Liberty Sentries, and get one video for Hate with Harding done a week. That's my goal. And one video for the Abyss a month. So I'll let y'all know if I get like good enough of the grind that I can get that going. Did I hear about the bus driver in Seattle getting sick from fentanyl smoke? People are smoking it on public transit. Ridiculous. I did not. But, just to be clear, that sounds like fear-mongering. Let me check. Fentanyl bus. Getting sick from... Okay, so this is... I'm seeing lots of Fox News. Let's see what Fox News has to say. I don't like Fox News, but I also don't like MSNBC, CNBC, CNN. Fucking... They all suck, so... A Seattle bus driver says illegal drug use has become so rampant in the city that bus drivers are getting sick. Shut up, Jesse. Physically ill from fentanyl smoke on buses. Quote, I really hadn't ever heard of fentanyl smoking on the bus when I was hired by Metro. I don't know... I don't want to be put in a predicament where I'm around drugs. Okay, so here's what I'm going to say. I'm not saying it's impossible, Jack. What I am going to say is, this sounds like fear-mongering bullshit. Some guy said that people are getting sick and they're blaming fentanyl without any actual medical reports. Right while Lindsey Graham is trying to ramp up anti-fentanyl stuff so that they can go crack down on them cartels and get more spending for the, anti-immigration stuff. Just saying, Jack, like, I don't buy it. Yet. I'll need more evidence than some guy said some people are saying this. You know? Don says, how about the insulin price cap caused by Elon Musk's verification account system mess up? I still, until it's generic, I'm not going to be satisfied. It should just be generic. It's fucking insulin. So, yeah. Opinion on Luna. Very good doggo. I tell people to watch HB on a semi-regular basis. That and I'm looking forward to more Has Been Hotel. Although, just to be clear, when searching for Has Been Hotel, make sure not to look up the acronym or you will find Nazis. Somehow hashtag HH didn't really fucking age well. Just saying. But, yeah. Anyway, I think that about closes it, unless there's something else somebody wants to bring up. Mr. Knight says, and Harding's death was a bit questionable too. That it was. That it fucking was. Like, that's the thing. Like, when you start to realize that everyone they wanted you to hate has something that they wanted to hide from you, it sort of like drills down in there, doesn't it? And like, I'm not saying that they're wrong about everyone, but they're not right about everyone, and they're not right about a lot of people. Just saying. Either way, there's going to be a lot this week. I'm going to earn it. I'm going to earn it. I'm going to earn the support people have been giving me. I'm going to earn the rent I got this week, And if y'all want to sub, the adults here anyway, want to sub to my Patreon, then feel free. Because there's going to be a lot of stuff coming. I've got Patreon, I've got Ko-fi, and my ultimate goal right now, if I had like $200 extra right now, I would be going and setting up a business address so that I could set up a mailing list and a bunch of other cool things that I couldn't do without one. And I need to get a bunch of things going before June because my rent price is going to increase when I actually get a content house to like do better content in. Because a friend of mine is moving up from Texas around then. So y'all are free to support the effort if you want. Even like $5 a month from like 100 people would be awesome. So, that. So, either way, be well all. Smash the fucking state.